Oh man. Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. We about to get buck wild this show. we about to. We about to go all in. We about to go ass in. I don't even know what that phrase is supposed to mean. But guys, welcome to the IMO podcast, the only podcast on Wednesday at 8 p.m. talking about nerdy shit. Probably not the only niggas, but
I missed the talking about absolutely nothing.
you gotta switch it up
Intro.
sometimes, man.
No, but I like that intro better.
The only podcast where we talk about absolutely nothing on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard and
Uh,
whatever times Jared.
see, now we.
That would
Now we
be 5 p.m. Pacific Standard.
See, we're getting international on you niggas.
What? No, that is not the word we use
that's
for
not
that.
even international. Oh
How's
shit!
that not international?
Nigga, I'm in the same country.
Oh, I thought international was within the nation and global would be like.
No,
would be like
international
worldwide.
is in between nations.
So what's inside of the country?
Washington and Washington D.C.
Or national. It's literally national.
Oh, okay.
We're getting national with you. There you go. Not international.
Yeah.
I thought international was
Real
inside
local.
and global was okay. Well, no, I stand corrected then. Shit.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Global is a synonym for international. That makes you feel better.
Okay, well, we were half right.
No,
No.
you were.
No,
That's not what.
no, we were half right.
We
Washington State is not a country; it's a state.
in the
I
name.
didn't say that.
You implied it heavily.
No,
With the
because we're in DC and Jared is literally on the other side of the country, the part that nobody cares about. So we're going from one side of the country to the other. That's where I got that.
It's national, not international, though. And it's not we because you were the only one that didn't know what it meant.
We
We,
since one band, one sound.
no,
One
nigga,
band,
you a
one
fucked up
sound.
sound.
Okay.
We're
No.
on point. We're on key.
No,
They beat your
no.
ass. Like,
If Luffy goes down, everybody goes down. So
they do all their
we're a
fights
team.
separately.
We're a team. If LeBron loses, what team does LeBron play for right now?
I think he's the
again,
Lakers
Jared? I
right now.
forget. If LeBron loses, the Lakers. I literally forgot what team that nigga played for.
He's trying to get to Shaq accolades, so he's trying to play for every team.
Clearly.
I mean, at this point, I feel sorry for LeBron. We're gonna get into the show in 1 second, but I feel sorry for LeBron. That nigga just can't catch a break, son.
Ah, son. What you mean y'all can't just be good and like get me a ring? The fuck, I'm out.
What you
Damn, you
mean
niggas
by
can't make a layup? Fuck.
what you mean my hairline left me?
God damn, man, I'm scoring like 60 points. Y'all can't do shit.
Sam, 60? Actually, I think he does do like average like what?
He averaged like 40 to 50 or 30
Yeah,
40
like,
points. Shit.
yeah, that's pretty absurd right there. But anyway, my name is Andre. I'm usually the captain of the ship, the star of the show. Yeah, and we're gonna get right into the show after that after that opening. There's
There
nothing else to
definitely
say
is.
right there.
Okay.
I mean, there's other guys.
Somebody really feeling themselves today. I feel you.
Sometimes you gotta feel yourself.
That's called masturbation.
That
I
definitely
see
is
Maurice
possible.
caught it. I don't think Jared understood because you know, Jared's married, so he probably doesn't have to.
You right.
It must be nice.
Must be nice.
I don't know what that feels like. Y'all better amend than me. Must be nice having a wife. Anyway, I'm joined by Jared.
What up, Pep? How you doing?
I'm doing swell. Probably haven't
Swell?
heard that word in a while.
I actually haven't.
Yeah, see, you know, over there in that in East Jesus nowhere country. Maurice, what's up?
Don't fucking talk to me, dog. Don't ask me. Like,
What are you talking about?
Do
Don't
not fucking
ask-
talk to me. You know what I'm talking about, dog.
This
said
is an
don't
I. This is
at me.
the show is called. The show is in my opinion.
You
We can't
not
not talk to each other.
talk to me. I don't want to talk
It's
to
not
you.
really possible for the next.
I
hour.
don't want to talk to you.
It's not. It's. We can't not do this.
I don't want to talk to you.
Okay, so Jared, since we're not talking to Maurice,
I thought he said don't
Maurice
talk to
doesn't-
you. I think I'm innocent on this one.
He's fine.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't want
pretty
to hear
sure-
your ass.
since we are on the same team, Jared, that means we cannot talk to Maurice. Right?
What? I don't think that's
Right.
how that works, but okay.
That's exactly how that works. Anyway, yeah, those are those other two niggas. Okay, so where do you guys want to start?
Shit, good question. Where do we start?
Yeah, that's right. Where do we start? 'Cause there's a lot to talk about, and if you haven't yet, please like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with every social media you got except for MySpace. Because if you have MySpace, go ahead and unsubscribe because we don't want to associate with you. MySpace, really, dog, really? You can do better.
MySpace, son.
This nigga tried to jump for the grenade. Oh my god, it fucking worked.
Don't get mad at me.
this bullshit actually worked. Okay. Okay, let's start with this. Let's start with the Proud Family. Everybody's favorite black cartoon. Well, may not be Maurice's, probably like Static Shock or some stuff.
It was one of my favorites.
I'm really surprised to hear that from you.
Why?
I don't know. It's just Proud Family doesn't really seem like your thing, coming from your demeanor and the fact that I know you.
What? How does it? Okay, I mean, even though we've talked about, not we, but our group has talked about that Proud Family movie like several times, and we like post gifs from it when they had that dancing scene.
That's never
That shit was amazing, dude.
Never talk about that scene ever again. It's the animation behind it was hilarious, but yeah, we'll never talk about that shit ever again.
Now where was I?
Am I the only one that thought that movie was stupid?
I love that movie.
I mean, it kind of was a good movie to me. I kind of enjoyed it.
See, just because it's a good movie, I didn't say it wasn't a good movie. I said it was stupid.
Oh. Yeah, that movie was kind of wild.
Sorry, that movie was buck wild.
For the good reasons, though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for all the good reasons. Not like a Batman versus Superman stupid, but a
Don't say that.
man. This is this is an enjoyable level of stupid. You guys remember the story for that shit? It was about talking peanuts or some shit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like talking Peters, and they had like a dance battle and shit. It's like, oh yeah, my racer mighty fighting warriors or some shit. The only way to beat him is through a
Didn't I
dance
just
battle.
say let's never talk about the dance battle? And this nigga is literally this is why I make fun
I
of you
don't
about not watching
remember
The Lion King.
anything. I don't remember you telling me not to talk about it.
And you also probably don't remember me telling you to watch The Lion King about 400 times right now.
You're right.
Okay. Anyway, it's rumored, and I say rumored because it's not confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. It's rumored that the Proud Family is coming back and it's going to be on Disney Plus, or as I like to call it, Disney's streaming service to take over your entire life. Because you already know that's what they're going for eventually.
Hint.
I'll admit, I'm all for it if it's actually going to be a thing.
Same.
The only thing for me, they can't be the same age, dog. I need Penny when she's in college or like starting off her career. I need that, but it's not going to happen because, for obvious fucking reasons, they're not going to do that because that would make for one, that would make too much sense, and two, you can't have like an adult black show and not like have extremely suggestive themes behind it.
Yeah.
And I'm referring to you, Atlanta. It just doesn't. Holy shit. They could just do Atlanta. Fuck, I didn't even think about that. It could be an animated version of Atlanta. Ooh, I'm 100% on board if it I'm sorry, let me back up. Yeah, she got to be like 23 or 24 or some shit. Fuck that 15-year-old shit. It's not. That's over. That's done.
It's like that's dead.
What do you guys think?
I agree. I would like to see like them get aged up, especially since we haven't had the series in like a little over a decade now.
Yeah.
I would love to see her like progress and not have to worry about the same themes of like no boys, blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah,
like,
that shit is over.
Yeah,
oh,
we're done with that.
You already know Penny. Let me stop.
I'm about saying the internet got over it on like 4chan and Rule 34. So I mean, Disney gotta be over it at this point too.
Yeah, you already know Penny done. She done a few things.
Been around the block. Penny from the block.
Yeah.
Penny around the block, nigga. Like,
Penny knows the block.
Yeah.
Master of the block.
So, yeah.
But,
what I think is a more interesting concept to consider is, do they take this in a more mature route than we've seen from Disney? Because what we talked about last week. I mean, maybe. because it's a stream. Well, it's a streaming service. So, yeah.
Well, no, wow, for once, you actually changed my mind about something, Maurice. Good job. It is a streaming service, and it is a streaming service. So yeah, they have a little bit more free range to do a couple more things than what they will put on their cable television network, whatever you want to call it. So, but the thing about it is, it still has the name Disney attached to it.
Yeah, I
So
was
I
about
don't
to
know
say
how
that.
far.
Hold it.
I don't know how far they'll take that, but
Because you can look at like Raven Simone's show.
that's
with-
so Raven.
Yeah, no, the second she came off with the sequel.
That is now Raven. That
I
was
think so.
Raven.
I think so. I can't remember the name of it, but it was still like kind of lighthearted, a little childish, very very low on the adult themes. It wasn't very what am I trying to say here? It wasn't what you probably would have wanted, you know.
Okay, so on a scale, let's see how far they'll go with this. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, I don't know, name a kids show right now. Dora the Explorer,
Ew.
and 10 being Atlanta. How far do we think we're gonna get on that adult ratio that I just explained?
What was the range again?
1 being Roly Poly Oly,
This
and
nigga said
10
roly
and
poly
10
oly.
being Atlanta or something that's TVMA.
I think it's gonna be somewhere in the middle. I think what we might get is something very similar to the That's So Raven continuation. Just because like it's still Disney and they're still probably gonna,
They still
Like-
earn their properties.
they still gonna be like, nah. And we want them to be like, yeah.
Yeah,
I think they'll.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think they like from that range. I'd give it a 4. I think they will go with like a
I'm-
solid 4.
I'm right there with Jared. Actually, I think they'll go. I think they'll try and push it, kind of like what they do, what we see from shows like I want to say Steven Universe, but I don't see Disney doing some shit like that, to be honest.
No, I can see that 100%. Like if it's super masked and not very obvious, depending on if it's the right producers or not. But
Yeah, it's still
like
Disney.
literally, I think like That's So Raven's cast went from like real issues to just how goofy can we make Raven, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get as much, but as long as I tell you what, if they don't have to go full Atlanta with it, but you gotta age her up. I can't. I
Oh
can't.
yeah, for sure. Like
Oh, 100%.
hashtag no young joints.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
Oh, my bad.
Anyway. Yeah, that's our play on the Proud Family. At least super excited for it to come back though, because let's be honest, we need something like the Proud Family right now. I need something like down to earth, wholesome, family oriented, but not too family oriented.
right.
That's exactly what the Proud Family was back in the day. So if they can get the original cast together, sure. Oh, and Sugar Mama can't be dead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
just make her like 100.
What? Oh yeah,
I don't give a fuck
true.
what you gotta do.
Right.
Don't you dare kill
Faithful.
Sugar Mama and Poppy. He got to be there too, bro. You can't even do it. I'm not accepting it. Damn, can you imagine if they kill Sugar Mama though?
Son, is there even a show anymore?
No.
Do we even have a show anymore?
Like,
No,
I'm just
we
keeping
don't.
it real. Like,
Okay. Moving on. Okay. Let me just get this out the way because I got a feeling after this we're not gonna get to it. One Punch, a hero nobody knows. It's a game about One Punch Man, which if you watch the anime makes absolutely no fucking sense.
The anime or the game?
The game.
Okay, so here's the interesting thing about the game, which is why I
If you
posted
pick
it.
Saitama, you win.
No, yes, actually, yes.
Holy
Yes.
shit! What?
Yeah,
So
that's
when
it.
you pick characters that aren't Saitama, they fight it out, and basically you survive until like Saitama goes. That's the game. Like you fight each other, and if Saitama comes up, he basically just one shots whoever your opponent is.
That's actually pretty clever.
Right.
Yeah.
So I could see like a system in place because they didn't really go into too much detail. A system in place where like you either pick a bad guy or a good guy or a good guy, and you both have your own Saitama or in-game boss that you pick, kind of like the Power Rangers Megazords or something like that, right? And literally you fight the person until time runs out and your party shows up. You can maybe manipulate the time by the amount of attacks you do or the amount of damage you do within that time frame, right? And make sure your hero or your villain or your god just show up and then just insta shot the other nigga. That seems pretty fun.
Yeah.
It probably get boring after like 2 games, but that seems pretty fun.
Like all of these fucking anime fucking IPs.
No, not really. Because fucking Naruto and Ninja Storm had tournaments, so you have to
Oh yeah,
count
they
that.
did.
True.
Just try to keep it real. But I like the concept and how they tried to stick close to the lore of the game, where the man literally just comes in and ends it in one punch. That makes it seem a little bit more interesting to me.
Yeah.
But how far it goes, like how like the longevity of it's like another question. I don't think I can answer that.
For me, it's more of the fact that nothing turns me off more as far as video games concerned. Just have to throw that disclaimer out there for all you weird ass niggas. Nothing turns me off more in the video game world than, well, no, that's a lie because these boxes exist. The second most thing that turns me off about video games is anime IPs, because it all follows the same formula before it comes out. Hey, this looks pretty decent. And then you look at it a little bit, then you look at the trailer twice, and it's like,
define anime intellectual properties. Like, which ones are you talking about? Because there are some
no Hero,
RPG. Well, I mean, actually define it. Well, just those, just like anything anime turned into a game.
Yes, basically. Yes. Any anime, any anime, and they just make a game off of it. I'm just completely looking the other direction, because most of these are either A, not worth my time, or B, just so incredibly mediocre. It's not going to be bad, but it's like, well, shit. I mean, do I really want to pay $60 for this? And most of the times, the answer for me is just no.
Mhm.
They lack this level of polish, you just don't see it. Like that last Naruto game with it wasn't an MMO, but it was like a battle
Shinobi
royale.
Striker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I think it was a decent attempt, but there was definitely it definitely needed more time in development, which is something AAA games face today. So.
I mean, you got me there.
Yeah, but I think that one is kind of like one of the exceptions in my opinion. But I could see like an argument for Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations and shit. But anime games actually are taking a turn because of the One Piece World Seeker, which is kind of like which is pretty much a single player experience, and Dragon Ball Z Goku or Kakarot rather.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Kakarot.
Yeah, so those seem like they're trying to at least push it in a different direction, but you still have like your jump forces and your killer kills and your what's that game? Boku no Hero Academy. There we go. But you still have your games. Yeah, Boku has a fighting game out.
Oh, yeah,
no, I
One's
know.
Justice.
I forgot all about that shit, but yeah, I remember.
So yeah, I can definitely see your point there though.
Yeah, this does look interesting. It really does, but I don't know, man. I've been hurt in the past. I have scars,
I feel
big
you.
scars. No, you don't, Jared.
I do.
You don't know my man.
Stop picking with Jared. Leave him alone.
He's just a boy.
He's just a boy.
He's just a boy. What is wrong with you? I got that from. Oh wait, you didn't watch Harry Potter?
Stop! Will you please stop picking on him?
Son, that shit was hilarious.
Jared,
He's
stand up for
just
yourself.
a boy. No, I was talking about you too, Maurice.
What?
What Harry Potter movie was that? I think it was Order of the Phoenix,
Which one was that one again?
the fifth one. Right
Nah,
after.
that was like literally the one everyone said I should watch, but I never watched it. I've watched like things around it. Like I'm so bad.
Yeah. Well, that's the best book in my opinion. but it wasn't the best movie in my opinion, which is really weird. But yeah. And long story short, the Ron's mother, one of the Weasleys, Sirius Black, who has one of the best names in any medium ever, was about to tell Harry the truth about everything, and the mom was like, "You leave him alone. He's just a boy." In her British accent, it was fucking hilarious, and it stayed with me to this day. Just going on a quick tangent right there.
Okay.
He's just a boy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I'm not trying to change your opinion about anime games, but I just wanted to point out that they're at least starting to think like, okay, well, people ain't going.
No, you can't end it right there.
Yeah. Fair enough.
They're putting a little bit more money and a little bit more thought into these games, and here we have One Punch Man.
I'll end it in one punch, man.
It's funny because I actually thought that the Ultimate Ninja Storm series was actually pretty clever back when it first came out.
Yeah, then they tried to balance it,
Exactly.
and that was awful.
Yeah. I think I played all the way up until Ninja Storm. Actually, I quit pretty early until Ultimate Ninja Storm 2, and I'm just like, I don't think I need to buy Generations. Nor do I need to buy 3. Nor do I need to buy 4. So yeah, I stopped at Generations when they introduced the robot Naruto, and I'm like, yeah.
Mecha Naruto.
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna
he
just
can go
stop
9
playing.
tails.
You know,
That
Lars was in fucking Naruto, right?
Was he?
Yeah.
Did he body everybody?
Yeah, nigga. What the fuck you mean?
You can't talk no juice in your head out of this one, Naruto.
But you can talk your way into these hands.
Yeah, you better get this frame data down. Oh, what if they put Tekken frame data
Stop.
in there? That shit would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Don't say stop to me. Have you played this game? They need something like frame data. Shit.
God. I don't want
They
this game-
do. They actually do, but
Yeah.
it's always just wild and very, because those games are a lot more, let's say, creative.
Lighthearted.
I want to say creative because I want to be nice.
I'll say lighthearted.
Nah, I'm
Lighthearted
throwing the
is
C
fine.
word out there. I'm throwing the C word out there. I'm judging all you niggas at Evo that was playing Ultimate Ninja Storm. I'm judging
that
you
shit
niggas
was at
like
Evo?
shit. It wasn't, but
I'm about to
I bet
say,
if you look
yeah.
hard enough, you will find like actually, I think there was a station that was playing Ultimate Ninja Storm. Yeah, I know, right? Ew, right? Disgusting, right, Jared?
Yeah.
Right, Jared? That's just disgusting, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Generations. No, nah, B. I got my 4th Hokage in the second game, and I was good right there. I didn't need nothing.
That nigga was cheap. I can't lie.
How was he cheap?
This nigga
What do you mean? How?
What? Yeah, all he did was just
Teleport and just teleport and teleport.
What I was trying to say was that they're all very unique and they tried to be very
Niggas
creative
was broken,
in
stop lying.
introducing these characters.
Yeah, introducing how broken they were.
That unfortunately led to a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah, these niggas being broken.
like Shinobi Striker, like shit.
Bruh.
No, you know you like the game. Anyway,
Shinobi Strikers?
nah,
No, I was about to say I absolutely hated that game. What are you talking about?
yeah, fuck that game. Anyway,
Like they were going in the right direction. They were going in a decent direction, but them niggas just.
them niggas were wild. Those niggas were buck wild. So
How you get more wild than that? Try it.
this nigga is physically upset right now.
You don't even know. If only you could see it, man.
Right.
Like,
I don't think I want to.
you don't. You fucking don't.
Anyway, here's a curveball, or should I say, a curve bullet.
You're not funny.
Wait,
Anyway, Matrix 4, everybody.
Is that a Wanted reference?
yeah, I was about to say. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that was a wanted reference.
Okay. Maurice, you take over from here.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not even here
I
right
guess
now.
that's the show, everybody. So,
Bye, So Matrix 4, though. I know you're happy, Andre.
no, I'm not.
Okay. I know you're happy, Jerry.
You
You happy about something?
you didn't watch. Did you watch the Matrix, Jared? I'll turn this shit off right now. I'll go over. I'll fly over there right now.
I'm about to cut off my power.
Right, son. Tell me you watched The Matrix.
Can I just tell you I watched The Matrix?
No. So now you see that I'm justified. I'm not even picking on you at this point. I'm just saying movies at this point, and I'm asking you if you watch them, and it's always a no. And I'm like, how the fuck? These are movies that we've all seen, except for Maurice until a certain point. But we've all seen these movies. Have you seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
No.
Maurice, would you like to try a movie, or? Because I'm pretty sure the answer is probably no. I mean,
me try. What you try to see if I've watched a movie?
No.
Name a movie that you think Jared has seen.
Have you seen 50-50?
No.
Oh, Jordan. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays a cancer patient. It was really touching.
Oh right, I want to watch that.
I love that movie.
Have you seen 7 Pounds?
No.
Okay, so Hitch.
No.
Oh come on! What? Come on your bones, son. Come on. You're not even trying. You're not even trying. What? You seen Hitch?
I'm so sorry.
You're not. You're not trying.
Am.
Maurice, would you like to try one more time before we continue?
Oh my god. I'm gonna try to make.
Please save me. Save me, please. Redeem him.
I'm trying to think.
I literally cannot think of anything right now. That's what's scary. Because I don't want him to break my heart. I don't want him to do it. Little Nicky.
No.
Okay.
Bebe's Kids.
Yes, I actually saw that one.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, I
I
guess we
actually
can.
saw that.
Hardball.
What was that about?
Baseball movie with Keanu Reeves. Sandlot.
Yes, I did see that.
Okay, good. All right. I mean, it doesn't make up for that other shit. I mean, but you god damn. Anyway, Maurice, so we did.
I'm good. Yeah.
All right, cool. So,
I'm chilling.
ooh, man, I was reaching for my 9 right now. Anyway, where's we at? The Matrix 4, which I mean, I guess we can't engage in Jared again with seeing movies. So, Maurice thought I was gonna be happy about this. I'm fucking not.
Okay.
You already know what I'm putting this in the category of.
Shit.
Cash
Well,
grab?
no, it'll probably still be a good movie, but why does this exist? It ended. It's over.
Yeah, your whole
It's
Hollywood thing. I
done.
forgot about that.
It's not even a Hollywood thing. Well, they kind of is. Well, no, because
Wasn't your thing like Hollywood just can't be original? They always have to like redo some shit. You want
Yes.
new IP or something like that.
yes, and I'm like, come on, The Matrix 4. That's like we're reaching in the S tier with this meme at this point. It ended. It has a conclusion. The story is over. There is nothing else to tell. There's no other. I don't want to. Fuck you, Jed. I'm spoiling it. And,
Go for it.
Leave him alone.
No, you good.
Leave him alone.
Maurice, you haven't seen the last movie either, have you? Revelation.
Matrix? Yeah, I have. I just don't remember it very well.
Damn, I don't want to, because there's a chance that we might actually watch it again, and you already know what happened the last time.
Well, I kind of know what happened, so it's fine.
Okay, well, for everybody who hasn't watched The Matrix, all 3 people and Jared, Neo dies, Trinity dies, they save the humans, and yeah, we're at peace. There is nothing else to tell about this story. Nothing. Well, you could argue that what about the other humans are still trapped in the Matrix, but nobody wants to see that shit. it's over. It's done. It's nothing else to tell. And then they're saying they're getting Keanu Reeves back, who is dead. Carrie Ann Moss back, who is also dead. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
It was all part of the plan.
They're dead. They're old now, except for Keanu Reeves. He doesn't age. He aged in a reverse way. But Carrie Ann Moss is a lesbian now. She has a lesbian body. There's nothing else there's nothing else you can do with this. I'm just confused. I'm slightly angry.
Mostly
Grace.
confused. I think this is probably one of the better things to like reboot. To be honest with you, it does seem like a bit of a hassle. Not a bit of a hassle. It seems like a bit of a cop out move just to go back to this IP because people love it so much. But I mean, it.
Come on, you know what? They're only doing this because Keanu Reeves is on absolute fire right now.
I mean,
absolute
true. Strike when the iron's hot, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but he's doing other things.
Like Matrix 4, nigga. Like,
nah, man, like John Wick 4. Like, what the fuck? Focus on that.
He can do both.
Nah, man, I want him in John Wick now. I've had the Matrix. I've had Neo. The Matrix has been a very large part of my childhood. I don't need it. I got the movies for that. I can also rewatch it with friends with Zoot Materia, and you know how that shit goes.
Zoot Materia.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
know.
Anyway, yeah, I'm not looking forward to this. I'm still gonna go see it, but theretofore, I'm a part of the fucking problem. So, I don't know, son. I don't know. Well, I'm glad we're agreeing.
Sorry. I don't know if it's.
fine.
I don't know if it's that big of a deal. I think that this is okay. It was bound to happen at some point just because of how great the series is.
But a sequel, though,
Hey, man.
a continuation of the already established story.
It's either going to be great, it's going to be amazing, or it's going to suck, man. You just got to
It'll-
accept it at this point.
It would be one thing if they say, you know what, the original trilogy is done. We're gonna focus on a brand new slew of characters, and we're gonna go from there. I would respect the shit out of that. But when you get Keanu Reeves, who was dead, and Trinity, who was also dead in the movie, and I'm like, come on, what are y'all gonna do? Make her? And it's not like in a way where it's like ambiguous. No, Trinity gets impaled by a fucking pole. She's dead. Like in the real world, it's over. She's done. She's not coming back from that. And I don't know. I guess Neo's death is kind of ambiguous, but I mean, shit, Maurice.
I don't understand what happened with Neo's death. I think I looked it up, and he said he had to like merge his consciousness to like stop, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anime shit, anime logic.
I mean, the Matrix is an anime.
Fair.
You watched that movie, son.
And the Matrix. I haven't seen that, but I do know of its existence.
I'm talking about the movies that we watched that weekend. The first one and Reloaded.
Oh yeah.
That shit was a fucking anime. Ooh,
I loved
that's a
it.
good point. We can maybe sometime this month we can watch the Animatrix and Revolution. That actually sounds like a good idea.
I'm about that.
We'll discuss this later in another chat. Anyway, Jared, I'm sorry you had to be so quiet for all of this, but you bring it on yourself, man. Don't be so fucking casual about this.
Oh, okay.
You don't get to be so casual about
All right,
this.
well, fuck you too, then, nigga. You piece of shit.
I'm leaving. That hurt my feelings,
What
Jared.
the
Do I
fuck?
ever
You
talk to
right.
you like that?
Okay.
Jared, Maurice, do I ever talk to him like that? Why is he being so mean to me?
I don't know what he's talking about, man. He's just wilding. Is ever since he moved to Washington State, he's just been all different.
Yo,
Right,
why?
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 Acting like a dick and whatnot.
That actually segues us into our next topic.
Yo.
I'm actually trying to figure out which one because I got several on here because
Apex. Apex
Oh.
devs.
I thought you was talking about the Sony thing. Yeah, Apex devs, dickheads. Oh dang, I forgot to read this. Take it away, Maurice.
Oh man, where do you want to start?
Okay, so I don't play Apex, so help me along with this one, Jared.
Oh, sure, no problem. You don't really have to.
Nah,
Hey,
Jared. This is our chance.
wow.
This is our chance, Jared. Let's gang up on him right
Yeah,
now.
man. Like, what you mean you ain't watching shit, dog?
This is it.
We posted this in the chat for a reason, son. Why you gotta ignore this? This is important.
What's wrong with you?
And you
What's
put
wrong
this on
with
the
you,
agenda,
Maurice?
son. Come on, man.
What's wrong
Why
with
you not
Maurice?
repping the culture, nigga? Why you not repping the culture?
What's wrong with you, man? You got a gaming rig. You got one of the best ones out, and you not playing that Apex?
Like,
Man, fuck
fuck.
wrong with you, dog.
Oh,
Okay, all right. I feel
Fucking
you.
casual.
But
Okay, there it is.
anyway, so what's going on with Apex Legend? The used to be best game in the world Well, apparently the Iron Crown event. The Iron Crown event like was basically Apex's like new like basically cash grab. We call it macro transactions because this shit is wild. Apparently,
Macro.
yeah. Apparently, these fuckers thought it was okay. You know how like Wraith has that heirloom fucking dagger, right?
I think you said rape, but yeah,
Wraith,
sure.
yeah, Wraith. Wraith. She has that
That's what
heirloom
he's gonna
dagger,
do. That's what
but
she's gonna do.
so essentially now, what's his name? Bloodhound has this thing called the Raven Spite, and that's his heirloom axe. That shit costs no less than $170 to acquire. And I'm not joking. Like it costs
What?
literally $170 to acquire that piece of equipment that does absolutely fucking nothing but just look
How?
cool. Oh, easy. So it's locked behind microtransactions. That you have to pay for loot boxes, which you can't get in game. You have to pay for them. You have to unlock all of the loot boxes, the epic and legendary things that come from them, which is a total of 24. And after that, then you can actually purchase the axe for about 3,200 points, like those Apex coins that they sell.
That's like some MOBA shit.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty fucking bad. Like horribly managed. And then then Apex is like, oh well, we're sorry, we'll fix it. So they put some of the shit on sale. That's their way of fixing it. They put it on sale, and then my question is, how does that fix anything? Where if, for example, I wanted to buy something that's like $10, well, you need like 2,500 points. Okay, but you can only get that by spending $20. But I just want to spend $10. Nah, bro. You got to pay the packs. Like you can't pay in this increment. So what does the sale do? It doesn't do anything. And then now
Give them more business. That's it.
exactly. And now the devs. I mean, they've been issued death threats. They've had some really nasty comments, which is kind of they should have saw coming. But then they stoop to their level by calling people dicks. They say shit like, I remember when gaming or the game industry wasn't full of asshats who, just ridicule, like, issue devs death threats just because of mistakes. And one of the comments to that on the subreddit was, yeah, and that's probably the same time where cosmetics didn't cost $200 fucking. So I'm just like, and if anything, I get it. I get it's very frustrating to have to like bite your tongue and not like lash back at people who are just like straight up being wild at you. But you're supposed to lead by example, like, and you want your customers to play your game and buy your shit. If they're not happy with it, that's the last thing.
Not even that, but like from my perspective, it's not like it's a big secret that gamers hate loot boxes.
Exactly.
This has been like the forefront argument of every issue gamers have had with game devs. Like,
Right.
why y'all niggas charging me so much for this shit? Why do I have to pay for all this shit? Why can't I just buy the item I want? Because
Exactly.
I'm gonna play the game. But like that's been at the cornerstone of every fucking argument. And it's not like anyone's being treated differently or singled out.
Yeah.
It's just niggas are really tired of this shit.
Yeah, and and at the end of the day, like, because if any gamers, like, we will pay for certain cosmetics. Like, we're not. I mean, some people just want to play free to play, which is cool. But me, I don't mind paying for cosmetics. But when you want me to spend $200 fucking and
Oh yeah, dude, like Bologna skins. Like I will drop money on Bologna
exactly.
skins.
Like,
I love Bologna. I hate
Exactly.
this fucking game, but I will pay for some Bologna skins.
But yeah, it's like when you make it to where
I
now,
don't do it. I don't do it anymore, of course, because fuck that game and the development in the studio. But
oh, high res, damn.
yeah. But back way when, like, I'm pretty sure if I have this mindset, other people are gonna have the same exact mindset. I mean, they have proof of it. Like niggas buying shit all the time, all of their shit all the time.
But yeah, and then the CEO had to get involved. I forgot his name, but he tweeted out an apology, like an actual apology, but basically stated like, I'm gonna stand behind the devs at Respawn, because it is frustrating to deal with this shit, but we shouldn't act this way. We shouldn't be calling our fan base dicks, asshats, and freeloaders just because of our mistakes. And I'm like, okay, I can rock with that. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, that sounds like an actual honest apology. Cool. I'm still not playing this fucking game, but oh my god. I'm talking to friends at work about this. Like, yo, we're getting to that point where we're getting tired of this shit. Like, seriously, we're not dumb. Like, we can understand when you guys are actually just wanting all of our money. And Respawn isn't this, like, indie developer. This isn't their first game that they're coming out with, so they need, like, to make it this way. They can afford to actually have this shit reasonably priced. They just don't. Why? EA.
Yeah.
Like EA has too high expectations. Like, yo, we need you to make this money, dog. Like, we got games out here making millions. Apex need to step it up, bro. We need it. And I feel as though, like, because this happened before with EA shutting down studios. I really hope that it doesn't get to that point where EA shuts down BioWare. Or not BioWare, Respawn, my bad, I'm tripping. That's a whole nother
Nah,
thing.
you had
That's
it
a
right.
whole nother thing.
Nah, you had it right there, man.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Like, Anthem, oh my god, I don't even want to start on that one.
Speaking of money, ladies and gentlemen, I just got word. Oh fuck it, we're not about to be coy with this. Let's get into it. Let's get into the reason why everybody's actually here.
Right?
And I apologize for sounding a little bit too emotional about this, but ain't nobody a bigger Spider-Man fan than me in this chat.
I'm about to say,
In this show. In the show. Let me just correct.
I'm about to say, what happened on Spider-Man issue number 106?
watch him tell you everything that happens, though. Then what
I
you
wish
gonna
he
do?
fucking
Then
would.
what you
I
gonna
should
do?
fuck up right now. I would leave. I would just fucking leave, dog.
Son,
I
I
would
would
have nothing
hype
to
the
say.
shit out
I
of
tell
him.
you, I asked the Ultimate Universe or the Amazing.
I'm like, you got it. I'm
Damn,
gone.
damn.
You stop, not me.
I do that weird ass thing where I adjust my glasses and shit with my
You got the anime glint on this shit.
right, which doesn't exist in fucking real life. I was real mad when I got my glasses. I'm like, it doesn't do the thing. Well then,
Why do I have these? For your eyesight. Well, this is like a waste if you ask me.
right, exactly. God damn, I paid $60 for these. They ain't even do the
Oh,
thing. Oh,
60 though, for real?
damn. It's funny because $60 is actually pretty cheap for fucking glasses.
Yeah, I'm about to say, them motherfuckers is plastic and shit. God damn.
Anyway, yeah, man, I'm angry, Jerry. That's why I'm angry.
Andre, why are you angry, son?
And they took this nigga back, bro. They took him back. He gone. He's not with the crew anymore. Anyway, no, he's not with the crew anymore. All right, let's explain. So if you've been living under a rock and or you have no phone and no social media, even then I think you would still like find this news. I'm pretty sure it's probably on like your local news channel at this point. And if it's not, that's why you have the IMO podcast giving you the latest and greatest news every Wednesday at 8 p.m. If you would like, please like, comment, subscribe. Or I can't do the wink thing. It's not my thing. Anyway, so why you mad, Maurice? I'm trying to get these subscribers, bro.
Oh, that was a burp. My bad. Like real
Yeah, so
talk.
like-
that was a burp.
Like, comment, subscribe. I thought you was upset over my subscribe.
Mm-mm. No, shameless plugins all day.
Shameless
else we gonna
plugins
do?
on-
Provide actual
Yeah.
content, please.
So shout out to our Patreon. What do we get? Nigga, what? You support me. You get the satisfaction knowing that I can eat, nigga. What's wrong with you? Damn. Fucking freeloaders and shit. Anyway. If you haven't noticed, Sony could not reach a deal with the empire that is Disney, and I think it's legally okay to call them an empire at this point. I mean, let's be real. So it was that time of the year, I guess, for Sony and Disney to discuss, okay, where are we at? How are we going to move forward and shit like that? So apparently the big boys at Sony and the big boys at Disney, well, probably not the big boys at Disney, probably like the mid-tier boys at Disney, because the big boys at Disney, they're probably like hanging with George Soros or some shit, trying to take over the world.
So these niggas probably got their own private army, son.
I just imagine them counting money all day.
All day, so
Literally,
like
that's-
Scrooge McDuck, just sitting there.
That Anderson Paak video bubbling. I just imagine that's them.
They just jump into the pool of money.
What is the hell? What is the back bubbling?
I think I'll swim in my 50s today and not my pool of hundreds. Sometimes I gotta bring myself back down to the commoners, you know. Anyway, the mid-tier people.
Look at the cash coming. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That was a pretty good effect on that video too. I was thoroughly impressed.
Actually, yeah, that video was pretty hype.
It was. Anyway, yeah, the mid tiers at Sony and the top boys at I'm sorry, the mid tiers at Disney and the top boys at Sony, they had a discussion on what to do with Spider-Man, the intellectual property of Spider-Man moving forward. For everybody who doesn't know, I'm just gonna explain it right now. For whatever reason, no, well, we all know why, because back in the 90s, Marvel was about to go bankrupt. Well, that's actually some nerd logic, but moving on. Marvel
It's all
sold
nerd
off,
logic.
yeah, Marvel sold off its movie rights for Spider-Man to Sony Pictures at the time, and Sony now owns all the movie rights for Spider-Man. So no one else can use or even say the name Spider-Man apparently unless Sony fucking approves it. Fast forward about what? 20 years or so, we get quite possibly the biggest movie thing of all time in the name of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is missing, besides Fantastic Four,
And
is
X-Men.
well, no, they have that now. I mean, shit, Disney,
Oh yeah,
Disney
true.
at work. The only thing that they do not have is Spider-Man, and we all know that Spider-Man is America's favorite superhero, as far as I'm concerned. Fuck you, Superman. Fuck you. Fuck you. Anyway, so long story, I don't like that character. So. Well, I don't like his movie character. The comic's not that bad. Yeah. So in order for Spider-Man to make to play ball with Tony, well, maybe not Tony Stark, but Black Panther and those other niggas in the MCU, Sony has to say, okay, you can use our character as long as we get as long as we get 95% of the profit. You can do whatever you want with the character as long as we can do whatever we want with the character, and everything will be Gucci. Apparently, Disney and all their Disney was like, "Hey, yo, let's talk again." So we're doing all the heavy lifting. We're making the movie. We're the reason that these movies are making billions of dollars. We want 50% of the Spider-Man movies, and not only 50% of the Spider-Man movies, we want 50% of everything Spider-Man related that you guys do. And Sony was like, fuck that. And Spider-Man is now out of the MCU.
You're missing one part. Disney did offer to like co-finance 50%.
They offer the co-finance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's different. That is different.
Yeah, I mean they Disney wild, but they not that wild to the point where they
Yeah.
just someone's like,
I
they're not.
I mean, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry, Disney, because they're probably. I'm sorry. No, go ahead, Maurice.
I mean,
I'm
I feel like they're at least at the very least fair, right? Okay.
No, but no, I have no proof that they're unfair because they did say I still can't believe this fucking number. They did offer Fox 72 billion, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, 72 billion. That's
That's a lot of
generational wealth right there. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of cheese. Get it? Cheese? Mouse?
Stop.
Anyway, I didn't know that they offered to the co-fund.
Yeah, it was in the article. Yeah, they offered to co-fund it for 50%. So they wanted this 50% split of the profits from the Spider-Man movie revenue.
So
Sony.
that would,
Sorry.
so that would mean they would also get 50% of
The money.
Spider-Verse too.
If they had a I think they were mostly focused on the
future projects.
not future projects, the live action ones, because
Oh.
they didn't really have a hand into the Spider-Verse. They just allowed the use of their title onto it.
Okay, that throws a wrench into the thing.
Thanks.
That's kind of different now, Sony. Okay, Sony.
So here's my thing. Like, I understand where Sony's coming from, because if you go back and look at the money that let's say fuck Marvel, right? Fuck Marvel. Let's go back and look at the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 movies. Those each made 500 million as pure profit. That's pretty. That for as much shit as those movies got, to me that's a little impressive. They grossed in about 700 million each. Just to put into perspective, because the pure profit thing is something I should start using today for some reason. So I can understand that's a little confusing. But they, like I said, they made 700 million per movie. So I can understand on a certain level that they feel like they could do this ship on their own because they have people. They got the people that wrote the scripts. John Watts wrote the first Spider-Man, Far From Homecoming, and I don't think he wrote the second one, but they have the teams for that. So maybe they don't need Marvel's name anymore to carry Spider-Man's weight or to dig it from the grave that it was in. They feel like they don't need Marvel's characters to enhance or make Spider-Man a better character or anything like that. They feel like they can just walk on their own too, and they rather just keep the money all to themselves. Essentially.
To to
Since
segue to segue off of to piggyback off that a little bit, I wish I could bring up a tweet that I made about 2-3 months ago, and I had this big ass fear, and this was off of my Into the Spider Verse high because I'm sorry Marvel, but
that was
Into
a long high if it was 3 months ago.
oh, that movie was great.
That movie came out in November or December or something like that.
That movie was great.
Gotcha. Enough said.
Enough said. Shout out to Stanley.
Rest in peace.
I called this 3 to 4 months ago, and I said, okay, Sony is actually not doing too bad with its own Spider-Man related shit. I said to I think I tweeted out to something of, okay, with the success of Venom, for whatever the fuck reason,
Oh
Into
yeah,
the Spider-Verse,
Venom did well too.
right?
And like that was like 50-50 on like whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Exactly, but you can't deny that it didn't make
So
money.
my question to y'all is: do you think they made the right choice? Do you think they could stand on their own too?
Do you want my personal bias?
I mean, yeah, that's what we hit, nigga.
Personal
I
bias,
have to answer you two ways.
yeah. Personal bias, I say no. They did not make a good choice for the longevity of like the MCU, but financial wise, I could say they kind of did. Like
Financially,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, they now keep 100% of the profits and 100% of the blame.
yeah. True.
I have to look at it on a business side and an informed customer side. On one hand, you have, okay, Tom Holland's Spider-Man isn't going to be playing with the MCU anymore.
No, yeah, you won't.
But on the other side, I have no choice but to respect Sony's decision for the fact that they actually went against Disney. And that's no easy fucking feat right there.
It's not. Here's what kind of sucks though is that they're probably gonna crash and burn.
Oh, of
Just
course.
to reference your tweet from earlier, they really didn't do these projects on their own. They actually had the guidance of Kevin Feige, or as a co-producer. They are the god. They may have like Amy Pascal and John Watts, but I feel like they lose out on the characters that can help make Spider-Man movies and push them harder. Because a lot of the reasons,
a lot of resources.
yeah. So what's going to happen with like these later movies is like there's going to be a need or a want for like team ups, right? As far as like the comic book movies, like Thor Ragnarok had Hulk and Thor. Some of the funniest fucking moments I've ever seen in MCU. And what was it? Oh, and they also had like other guest appearances from the characters like Doctor Strange and shit like that. So like these team up movies are going to be very key moving forward because the solo movies I don't think they'll carry as much weight. Now, majority of Spider-Man movies haven't necessarily been team up, but they've had very heavy influence from other characters from the MCU, such as Nick Fury and Happy and Tony Stark. Now, we don't have Tony Stark anymore, but there are other characters that can team up with Spider-Man and make for a great movie. Like, can you imagine if Spider-Man teamed up with Thor, if Spider-Man teamed up with Hulk,
Pretty much just
Wanda,
yeah,
like
everybody.
right? Like there are just so many like good scripts you can write. Just
Oh
off
shit,
of
we're not gonna get that. We're not gonna get that Peter
Deadpool.
Parker and Shuri thing. Fuck.
no, looks like we're not.
Fuck.
So yeah, so I don't think this was the best play. If this was the best play, if they wanted to make money, and I can
That's all it
see
was.
them, that's all it was at the end of the day. So they don't really care about the fans or anything like that. They just want to make their money. They don't care to the fans to a certain extent.
Yeah.
They just want to go in and make their money.
What I don't get is, here's my thing and why I'm kind of leaning on this was a bad decision from Sony, but I can actually see why they did it and the guts that it took to actually do this. Because for one, I can't count Venom because the Venom movie was literally lightning in the bottle. I guarantee you, Venom 2 is gonna be shit. So
I mean, but even if it's shit, like Amazing Spider-Man 2 is considered to be, it still made 500 million as pure
well,
profit.
that's also going. Well, that's going to go more into my point, which is this: they can go in other directions with this, like they proved with Into the Spider Verse, which is still the best Spider-Man movie, if you ask me. I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't see the
They
need.
do the need. Oh, okay, go ahead.
I don't see the need of this because Venom, that's your live action thing. You made gangbusters from that. It wasn't quite Marvel money, but let's be honest, nothing is quite Marvel money. You niggas actually did pretty good. And then you have Into the Spider Verse, which the entire fan base loved. I don't know one person that didn't that hasn't said, well, anybody that knows anything about Spider-Man and comic books, that said Spider Into the Spider-Verse was a bad movie. Not one person on the internet, not one person. And that's really hard to do. To have the entire community just come together and just say, yeah, this movie was awesome, and nobody says otherwise.
Mhm.
They could have kept on going in other directions that Marvel isn't going in, like the animated feature, and then okay, let's have a movie about the villains and have Venom become your anti-hero, and maybe he's fighting the Sinister Six. I don't know whether they can still use like Doc Ock. Well, yes, they can because it's Sony, then they own it. So
Yeah.
I don't think this was the best choice for the fans.
Yeah.
It was the best choice for money for sure, because I mean,
Yeah.
50% of
Spider-Man's
$1 billion is 100 is
yes.
$500 million.
Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, his universe is pretty fucking massive. Um, I mean, yeah, it seemed like the obvious play to make. You know, we don't really need their characters. We just introduce more Spider-Man characters, and some of their characters we have the rights to anyway. Just like the whole Pietro and Wanda situation, where you know they can have
Oh yeah.
Quicksilver and Wanda in two different movies, but the movies have nothing to do with each other. Like Kingpin, for instance, Kingpin is still with Marvel because of Daredevil, but it's also because Daredevil Defenders, but it's also with
Sony.
Sony because of still one of Peter Parker's villains.
At the same time though, I'm saying to myself, how can I put it? Shit. It's just it's so much because oh yeah, because at the same time, this is the same studio that gave us cool hipster Parker riding on a fucking skateboard. They also
Mhm.
gave us that Peter Parker. They also gave us Jamie Foxx as quite possibly one of the worst superhero movie villains of all time. That nigga made his character made no sense. I'm sorry. His character was bad. And then they also gave us the Rhino and Dane DeHaan's Green Goblin, who just looked like a nigga on crack.
Well, I
It
mean,
was
Rhino shoot in, yeah, that Green Goblin was kind of bad. I like the Green Goblin where he's like buff as shit, like Hulk, but on fire. It's not
okay. So
hard.
I like the one where he's buff and on fire.
Tell me it's not hard. Tell me it's not.
I mean, it is pretty hard, but
I'm just saying. But,
there was just so many things wrong with the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
but it's still sold though, so that's what they care about.
I
At the end
don't
of the
give a
day,
fuck if it's sold. It's a
I mean
bad movie.
that's a
helps
factor.
Sony. It doesn't help me.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't. It's not for you. It's for them. It helps like boost their confidence into thinking. Yeah, I mean, even if it's not that great, niggas will still come see it because it's Spider-Man. And I admittedly I do think that's the wrong mindset to have.
It's a very wrong mindset.
Yeah, and if I can have it my way, I would rather them focus on the fans than their own personal gain. But they seem to want. I think it comes across as like them seeming kind of like needy, as far as not needy, greedy, when it comes to this side of their business, because it's not like they're super invested into it. You know, they literally just have like the one movie going for them, maybe a few others here and there. But Spider-Man's definitely their top seller, and it's not like they really need it. So I mean, splitting the profits like down the middle, it may like be the bitch move out, but at least you're not like disassociating yourselves from your fans, who are going to be ultimately buying your products and shit. And yeah,
I can almost guarantee you that once the normies catch wind that the next Spider-Man movie isn't a part of the MCU, and at this point I don't even think it's a stretch to say that the MCU and their movies are extremely mainstream, like extremely. It's not too hard to figure out what the MCU is and what exactly is or is not within the MCU. At least at this point in 2019, I'm pretty sure that the main bulk of these movies is drawing its income from millennials, Gen Z, a little bit of Gen X, and I don't know about the baby boomers. They're probably not watching any of this shit. All of us, everybody that's below 45, we already know that what the MCU is and what the next movie will look like if Spider-Man is not in it. So once we know that Spider-Man is not in it, we're probably gonna say fuck this movie.
Yeah. Well, not fuck this movie. Maybe fuck the franchise that Sony's trying to build, which I don't understand. Like, what she could do at this point, possibly. Just
Exactly.
and then, I mean, and like you gotta think about it this way: they're not technically they're losing out on money in a sense, but they're still like not. They're still making like a lower investment and still getting a sizable chunk or a reasonable chunk of the money, right? Not as much as they could be making, but they're also not they're also not being co-financed.
Exactly.
And like Disney got some deep pockets. I wouldn't mind having Disney for a sugar mama. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
It ain't wrong though.
Okay.
I mean, tell me, yeah, right. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm fucking wrong. The last movie made over $1 billion. So if they co-financed that one, it would have been 80 million for each side, and they each would have walked away with like 600 million, or around 600 million.
It's flabbergasting. You mentioned like you mentioned where else? Yeah, yes, Jared. You mentioned where else does the franchise go? Well, where does Sony's franchise goes? And I'm thinking to myself, yo, in the last, oh sorry, not the last Spider-Man movie, but in Endgame, we had Spider-Man riding a fucking Valkyrie,
Yeah.
with the Infinity Gauntlet in his hand and catching it like a fucking football while everybody is having a fucking war at the bottom, and you're trading that in so you can kill Uncle Ben again. It's just, it's not good.
It really isn't. Like, where do you go from here? Okay,
Exactly.
Sinister Six, Into the Spider-Verse. That's a good 5 to 10 years of movies, and then it just kind of stops.
Yeah.
Maybe
maybe
they're not thinking beyond that.
Yeah, like I
I would
said-
give him about 5 years.
Yeah, longevity. This is
fair.
not the play.
Yeah, fair enough.
And we've already got the Sinister Six with the game.
Insomniac, yeah, Insomniac Spider-Man with Sony.
Oh, damn, true. So you're just gonna rehash old content versus letting your character just go wild and like
Make
build
more
more
money.
publicity. Yeah,
Right.
because it's good for you because he's just out there, and you don't even have to sell his movies. Like 3 years on the road, say this never happened. 3 years on the road, you don't even have to like advertise for his movies at this point. He'll literally be on the big screen, and you could just say, "Hey, can y'all throw this under there?" Blah 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 blah, and like just next screen, Spider-Man will be back in blah blah blah. Like it's just such. This is like the benefit of business, being able to, not saying that they would do this, but just the ability to get this type of publicity to your franchise is very important to sell, right?
I think that Sony jumped the gun a little bit too hard.
Yeah, like maybe they could have gotten talked down to like 70-30 or
Something like that.
Yeah, or like 80-20 or 60-40. Like haggle with them a little bit. They've literally done so much for your character to the point where you can make decisions like this. I mean, I'm not saying kiss the ring of Godfather Disney, but at least pay a little homage.
That's probably what Disney was asking for. That's it, bitch. That's I wouldn't even doubt it. But yeah, ever since Spider-Man joined the MCU, it's been a complete revitalization of the character in the mainstream. At least you've got Into the Spider-Verse, great. Venom, great. Spider-Man PS4, quite possibly the best Spider-Man game to come out ever. And now you want to
it just flat out is. It just is. Like there's no maybe, there's no what if this happened. This is just the most polished, the best in terms of combat. Oh my god, it's just such a good. It was such a good game.
It was good. It was a good game. And then you're kind of you're literally halting that because you didn't want to play ball with Disney. And I get it. I get it. You want to be one of the only people that's independent from Disney. I completely understand that. But at the same time, you got to look at all the traction that you got just by Spider-Man having a cameo in Civil War. You literally made billions of dollars since then.
Yeah.
It
Like,
doesn't make any sense. And you didn't even have to do all the work.
that was some people's favorite scene in the movie too. Just seeing Spider-Man come in and interact with the rest of the
Hey,
characters.
and that was it.
Yeah.
That's what that nigga just said. Hey everyone, and everybody looked at their shit. I don't get it.
On the roof.
Oh my gosh.
Right, so, and then it kind of fucks up. Well, Sony doesn't care about, they don't really care about Marvel's story, obviously, but it kind of fucks up the Marvel story because they were really playing big things with Spider-Man, obviously from Far From
Oh
Home.
yeah, they were literally gonna make him like the next Robert Downey Jr.
Exactly.
Like that's what they were giving the stories towards him.
And it makes perfect sense. Tom Holland, he's young enough. He has the charisma. He could have did it. He's playing the most popular superhero of all time, in my opinion. It's okay, maybe not the most popular, but the most lucrative.
Wait, Spider-Man?
Yes.
No, I mean that basically goes hand in hand though. All the movies, TV shows, toys and shit.
He's had a lot.
He has a lot of shit.
He has
A lot of shit. Like the big three isn't fucking One Piece, Bleach, Naruto. Even that's a little dated joke. It's fucking Batman, Superman, Spider-Man.
Period.
That's pretty much. And two of those things are fucking up. Like,
So it's literally just Spider-Man at this point.
right? It's literally
But,
just
like,
Spider-Man.
Like Spider-Man gets fucking everything. Like Iron Man had a TV show back when Spider-Man and X-Men had a TV show.
Because
but
of
Spider-Man's
Spider-Man.
yeah, but yeah, and only Spider-Man's getting more TV shows, like way more. Like they wouldn't invest in such a long-term project like a show, because they do take a lot of money to upkeep. You have to have a team. You have to have a team like kind of dedicated to making the project, of course. But they wouldn't invest in it this many times. Do you want to know how many? It's been like over 5 Spider-Man TV shows. There's been like just as many Batman shows. And these just aren't like normal. This isn't just like things that just kind of come out of nowhere. These are very popular characters that do very well in this fucking region.
In the past 25 years, we've had 7 Spider-Man movies. I can't even count the games. At least 5 TV shows, and they've all made gangbusters.
You literally don't hear like a bad Spider-Man show. Even the super fucking edgy one that was after the 1990s Spider-Man. That one was, people love that one. Yes, nigga, like, oh my god.
It was the theme song. That shit was great. Well, to be fair,
The Amazing Spider-Man 1997, Spider-Man 1978, Spider-Man His Amazing Friends 81, Spider-Man 94, which is the 90s one, Ultimate, which is a continuation of the Ultimate is a continuation of the 90s one. The new animated series 2003, Spectacular,
Oh my god.
2008, Ultimate Spider-Man 2012, and they have another one coming out in 2017.
that
with
one
a new-
that one's pretty bad, but
I love that. No, I love that one. That one's funny.
really,
Yeah, I do.
I'm surprised you watched.
Yeah, I mean, because Drake Bell was probably like it was
no, not that
wait,
one.
which one? Spectacular.
The one after Ultimate Spider-Man.
Spectacular.
The one after that.
Spider-Man. That was Ooh, I just backed up. My bad. I can't remember now.
After Ultimate Spider-Man ended on Disney Channel, they made another Spider-Man show, which was pretty bad.
2003.
No, after Ultimate Spider-Man in 2020.
Oh, 2017.
Yeah, they just made another show called Just Spider-Man, and it was pretty bad. I couldn't make it through. 4
Wait,
episodes.
just Spider-Man?
Yep. Just look up Spider-Man Disney Channel. You'll know the one I'm talking. The one that in fact, that was one of our earliest shows. We talked about this.
Oh wait, no, those are cool.
You watched
They
it?
were a little low, but yeah, I watched like the clips and stuff, but they were all right.
Did you watch the show?
No, I watched the show.
I don't fucking talk to me. The first couple of episodes were decent, and then they went on after that, and I'm like, ooh, ooh.
Oh shit, he did it with Miles Morales and Gwen
Oh
Stacy.
they do the whole Power Rangers thing and shit where apparently everybody knows who Peter Parker is. That was one of my gripes. But anyway, let's keep on let's keep it going with Sony. Do y'all think that Disney played a little bit of a not a hardball, but play a little bit underhandedly by letting this information leak so early?
You gotta do what you gotta do, nigga. Like, fuck.
I
TV show.
100% think that once Sony told them no, they said, "Hey, leak this shit because we already know that everybody is on our side." They're gonna say, "Fuck Sony,"
Mm-hmm.
and them niggas gonna come crawling back. I would not put it past them niggas to do some shit like that.
Yeah.
I feel you, and this is probably fucked up for me to say. Also, that 2017 Spider-Man's going to his third season. It's kind of it's kind of fucked up for me to say, but I wish that I hope that's what kind of happened. Only because like I've been on the fan side of this where it's a really good show, you're really invested in the show, you watch every day, and then they just cancel it because some dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just rather not get like fucking what.
No, I'm talking about Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm sorry.
Spectacular.
Shut up.
I love that show too. Fucking what about the show I was referencing is Dark Matter. Literally just got canceled because Sci-Fi wanted a property that was under their name that was doing well as Dark Matter. So basically, no reason. It was doing the show was doing super well, going into its ending its third season, going into fourth. Great cliffhanger. They pretty much killed a lot of people because a lot of people had to make some sacrifices, but that was made kind of like interesting. Plus, like, and the main character was like amazing. She was like a fucking god. I didn't want to see something like this for other shows or other media, and I at least would have heard them out, not just step out and like said, "Nah, it's a bit fucked up." I understand, but I don't think you're losing like that connection with it. Yeah, you're losing the connection with the fans. Like, yeah, you're making your money. You'll do this, you'll do that. I mean, I'm pretty sure that'll be fine and dandy. But the whole reason you're doing this, the whole reason this merger even happened, should have been for the fans. I don't think that's what
it was for.
Yeah, I don't think that's what it was for. Now they literally just wanted to get Spider-Man's clout back. It seems like now, but I definitely would have just. Like, I don't understand why you just didn't keep him with the MCU, or at least try to find a way you guys can come to an agreement. But I mean, they'll get their backlash. Something will happen. Either I'm gonna keep watching MCU shows with Spider-Man or without. It's really up to them.
Did you hear about did you well just to piggyback off of what you just said, if this is true, I'm not watching anything that's Sony does. Cause I have well no, I'm sorry. I'll cheat for Into the Spider-Verse. But their live action shit, no. I'm not doing it. Cause I think that the game is way better than anything that they can do live action with Peter Parker as a character. Way better. I don't think they can.
It is. Cause like, remember we talked about it last week. Like, they could just do so much more and make so many more cooler scenes for cheaper if they just animate it. It takes a longer time than like shooting the movie, but it looks so much better. Much better.
Marvel couldn't even do it, and their infinite budget could not do the things that they did with in animation with things that Sony did.
Yeah. Nah, you can't do that on a consistent basis because you're just gonna spend too much money. Like, you'll go to like 400, 600 million dollars, and then the movie is only going to gross like. Well, I mean, no. Well, that was a bad example. That was a very bad example. You only make about half of it back, like for Black Panther, and you want to be. It's better to be cost effective when it comes to creating anything. So,
It's weird. I don't see a point, especially if now I guess the whole 50% thing was a bit much, but for you to not come back with a counter argument, and if that's the case, we don't know. Disney might just be doing controlling the media, which we all know they can do. We all know they can do. They might just be spinning. They might just be spinning it. Maybe Sony just did not feel comfortable, and this was like, well, fuck it, we're just gonna leave. Maybe they were the ones that walked out. We don't really know. We're not in these boardroom meetings. We're not in these talks. I wish we were. But...
Yeah, that's true. Disney could have been the first ones. Like, no, nigga, you forgot who ring this is. This ain't your ring.
Well, Sony could have been like, well, can we do a 70-30? No. Bye.
50-50 or nah.
Right. Thanks for the crackers,
Thanks for the crackers.
You
So
drive just like your damn movie.
it's really unfortunate because I was liking everything about the Sony Disney deal and the merger and the character. It worked out extremely fucking well on obviously it didn't work out as good for Sony apparently, but it seemed like everybody got what they wanted. We got Spider-Man into the MCU. Marvel is
It
taking
did work
over.
out good for Sony. They took Disney took 5%.
And especially with all the work that they put in.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not sure how much of the work they put in themselves, but
I would
they
imagine
did allow.
if Kevin Feige is there, yeah, I think that Disney is putting in some work. If Kevin Feige is anywhere near the project, because that nigga
Facts.
calls bank at this point. He's the reason that you guys make all this money. So for you to for and I was reading that bullshit post that somebody put. I didn't believe any of it. They said that they didn't have. Apparently Sony wanted Kevin Feige to work a little more exclusively with the Spider-Man character and don't work as much as the other IPs. And apparently Sony was like, well, if he doesn't have time to work on an IP he doesn't really own, we'll just take the character back and work it on our own on our part. And I'm like, that is the dumbest, worst thing you can do. You can't go against Kevin Feige against characters that he knows in and out. He has the blessings of Marvel behind him. He just knows the characters better, and that's why these movies succeed because they know the characters. And apparently, and I'll give you those first three movies with Sam Raimi, they were pretty good. But then you try
Not
to do this other shit.
not to mention like the new IPs that he's coming out. Well, not IPs, but the new characters that he has to introduce into the Marvel world that make it work. I mean, yeah, Spider-Man. He's on. He's got his path. He's gotten his train. He's in his lane. He's
You know
cool.
who he is.
Yeah, right. You just literally have to make the next movie and not fuck up the script.
Yeah. But
This these other niggas, I have
You
to
gotta get
sell.
out.
I
Yeah.
have to fucking sell.
Yeah,
I have to
you
make a pitch that's like 2 hours, the movie, and like explain to niggas that this guy isn't dumb or this shit isn't dumb. Not to mention Disney Plus is coming out, and that has new IPs coming out under Marvel.
Yeah, Disney was like, look, man, we'll give it to you when another movie is actually coming out, but until then,
Well, no,
the
they
character is
said.
fine."
Well, no, even the part of the deal, they said that they'll still have Kevin Feige be more of a consultant producer than an actual like co-producer. He co-produced the first two.
Yeah, yeah, because he was in the MCU, and that makes
Yeah, yeah.
sense.
No,
And they're
but
saying,
no, for the new deal that they wanted to split the two stipulations where I got from the article were that they wanted Kevin Feige to like step back a little bit as co-producer and just be more of a consultant, and them to like co-finance it. Like Kevin Feige wouldn't be eliminated; he would just not be as present as he was for the first two, which is understandable. Which to me is understandable.
yeah, that's fair, because Phase 4 and Disney and the whole Disney Plus thing, I think that Kevin Feige is gonna be busier than ever because you have to sell these characters that not even some comic book fans have even heard of, like Eternals, and there's another Doctor Strange movie that's coming out, and there was something else besides Eternals that I can't Shang-Chi. Like nobody these and if they fail, well obviously this is still gonna be fine. But they don't want these movies to fail because they're gonna sick a lot of them. So yeah, Kevin Feige's busy. You can't have all of Kevin Feige, which I don't know because the tweet that they posted was it made it seem like they had creative differences because they couldn't have Feige as much as they wanted to have. They said that I don't have the tweet up in front of me, but it said something along the lines of the first one.
Much of today's news about Spider-Man has been mischaracterized. Recent discussions about Kevin Feige's involvement in the mischaracterized recent discussions about Kevin Feige's involvement in the franchise. We are disappointed, but respect Disney's decision to not have him continue as the lead producer. Oh, he was the lead producer?
Exactly. Son.
Right, like get the fuck out! Like,
Yeah, come on,
like
son.
I mean, they're not like they're taking away like a lot of creative talent from your team, but they're co-financing the bitch. Like,
Yeah. And then they're only taking 5%.
son! Well, they were
They're
taking
only
5%, but they took five. They took like 5% for the previous two. But for this one, they were like, well, we definitely want Spider-Man a part of it. We'll take away Feige a little bit or lie, and so just give it to you like intermittently, but we'll just co-finance it. We'll just pay half the bitch for you. Like
Right.
that sounds wild to me.
And
I didn't. Cause I'm thinking like John Watts, like the guy that they secured, is the guy that fucking is going to. It was the creative talent or some shit, or Amy Pascal, right? Who's another co-producer on the side. Like not Kevin Feige sounds like he was just running the damn show.
that's executive producer, my guy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, son, they should be lucky that they got that, cause
Oh, that shit's definitely gonna crash. What are you saying?
100%.
Yeah.
You don't. No, granted, if I'm over the whole honeymoon phase of Far From Home, if I would have rescored, I'll probably score it a little bit lower.
I don't know about that.
But if you just take away Feige and the whole MCU, everything, oh man, y'all gonna have a tough time making this one, the next one. Y'all gonna
I
have a
feel
really tough-
you. Like if y'all were relying on Feige as much as the first tweet suggesting, I don't fucking know what you guys are thinking, then, because like
Right.
at least you can like set this to the side and let the money make itself, right? Like, all right, how much? Bet. Oh, we're gonna they're gonna handle it. We're gonna make the money because Disney niggas gonna see a Disney film, like.
Hell, you don't even have to make a full fucking Spider-Man movie. Make it half Spider-Man, half Thor or some shit. Make it. Half
Oh
Spider-Man,
yeah,
go to Wakanda.
all the fucking team ups and shit, son. That would send the cost like a little bit up higher, but they were only paying like around 160, 150 mil for each movie.
Yeah, this shit's wild, son.
That was wild as shit.
This shit's wild. This shit's wild. Like I can sort of respect.
This is
it,
the
you know,
most
you
fucking
wait-
normal fucking Marvel movie I've ever seen in my fucking life. The most
is.
normal fucking Marvel movie.
It is.
That's
It's crazy.
crazy.
And I think that's what they were going for though. They were trying to be a little bit more down to earth with
Kind of like a neighborhood Spider-Man.
Well, I can't really say that now because they had a nigga go to fucking Europe. I'm trying to figure out whose idea was that.
I thought you were gonna say space to kind of.
I didn't mind it. But Europe.
No, I mean because of the joke. Yeah,
Oh no, I got it.
hey.
Bitch, you've been to space. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Samuel Jackson better. But I don't.
Okay, all right. Oh, there's some Tony Stark in there too. So can't you be just like a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?
Okay.
All right, cool. So yeah, you were saying.
I'm upset
I know.
because it's the deal. You know, stranger things have happened.
Stop.
And you never know. This might not be the end of it, but for right now, I wonder what they're going to do with Tom Holland. Because I don't think they can use Tom Holland in the next movie that they do.
They are.
Yeah.
He's on board with it.
Wow.
I didn't know what
Yeah.
that was.
I
Because if he's in the
it is.
MCU,
Wait, does he not have a contract with?
No,
to only
he's
work?
not in the MCU after today. He's not in the MCU anymore, and they're going on to make the third and fourth movie with John Watts, who was the director of the last two movies, along with Tom Holland as the star. And I'm pretty sure they're getting Zendaya back to play MJ and all the other characters, seeing as how they weren't important. Besides Happy, of course, seeing as how they weren't important to the MCU at all.
oh, you know what? I was hearing. I can't really confirm it, but doesn't Disney have 2 more movies in the contract, or is it just the next movie? Nah, he's out.
I have no idea about that.
I've been hearing rumors that they have 2 more movies to do with John Watts and Tom Holland in the MCU. But I can't really confirm because I mean, let's be honest, none of this shit's actually confirmed except for Spider-Man being somewhat out. So I think that they have 2 more movies in their contract with Spider-Man and Tom Holland in the MCU. But after those 2 movies, I think that will be it because it doesn't make any sense to have the Tom Holland the actor that we've seen in this movie and then he just all of a sudden not in the MCU, and there's no reference to any of the shit that's been going on. There's no reference to Tony Stark, there's no reference to Happy, there's no reference to any of these niggas. It would not make any sense. You would have to recast the characters and come up with a brand new story. You can't continue
Or
the story.
just ignore them.
You can't do that.
Shit.
You can't do that.
You can't defy Disney either, but we're here.
It's more of an issue on Sony's part, and don't get me wrong, Marvel's gonna have a tough time explaining this shit too. But on Sony's part, they got to start from fucking scratch because it's not going to make any sense to see the same dude that we've been seeing, and all of a sudden there's no reference to any of the rest of the bigger picture or the rest of the world. It's not going to make any sense.
It'll be weird, but they cannot reboot it a third time.
That's what they're gonna have to fucking do.
No, they better fucking not, because it's gonna be fucking stupid.
What do you think they're gonna do?
Just continue and pretend like it never fucking happened.
Do that, Maurice. They can't do it.
They literally can. All of his important characters are here. They can pull or introduce more characters. They don't need to follow. They don't need to like continue to use the MCU's characters. Like
so
Happy.
There's no mention of Tony Stark. The half the movie was about you dealing with the dude's death.
He got, according to them, he got over that shit.
Okay.
Tony Stark? Who the fuck is that?
Tony Stark? Who?
Exactly. Son.
Tony?
Tony?
Mr. Stark
Right?
Uncle Ben. Oh my gosh, no, nothing. Just nah, it's not gonna work. They're gonna have to.
It's definitely not. But they're probably just gonna do it anyway. It's not like they can renege at this point, since they have so much invested into.
I'm sorry. I like you, Tom Holland. I like Zendaya even more. I'm not watching that shit. You can't just pull one character out of the MCU and just expect me to be okay with it.
Oh, that Twitter line that you tweeted us. Linked us. That shit, no one's fine with this. No, absolutely no one's fine with this.
Hell nah, son. Nobody's fine with this. It's not gonna go well. It's either reboot it, which is dumb, or keep on going, which is even dumber. So either way, you're fucked.
Yeah.
If I was them, you know what they might do? They might just introduce Spider-Man and Venom too. That's the only logical. That's the only logical thing they got right now.
Probably, and again, just pretend like the rest of the shit didn't happen.
Yep.
People know what they need to know.
In that case, you can pretend everything else doesn't happen because your previous movie, which was Venom, had nothing to do with the MCU. So in that case, that might work. But then again, I don't know. Sony has proven to us that they're stupid, so we don't know what they're going to do.
Why are they so goddamn stupid?
I don't know. Anyway, whew. Have we got it all out yet?
I put go to the chat.
What the fuck? If I somehow you combine with your characters and splitting the profits 50, we can make billions. Why make billions? I can make millions. I want 100 billion.
My fucking point right here. I'm sorry. You guys can't see this, but we're about to be wrapping up anyway.
Are you getting this from Twitter, son?
Yes!
Oh, yeah, they could... Oh, goddamn, man.
You think they're not about to do this? You really do.
I swear to God, we're going to be finished after this. They could have went in other directions that the MCU is not doing and renegotiate that contract a little bit, because I can agree that 50-50 is kind of wild, and you guys are probably, Sony's probably depending on that money to, fucking pay families at this point, because I literally cannot think of another Sony movie that is not a Marvel movie or Venom. So yeah, and I don't think that Sony was doing too well financially. Well, that may have been the video game side. No, the movie side. Yeah, the movie side was actually doing pretty bad. Like, really bad. Extremely bad, actually. Nigga, can you stop?
This thing is fucking fun.
This
Anyway.
is my last one. Maybe.
Wait a second.
Oh, man. It's a weird... And to be fair, as a consumer, we've kind of had it all for a while. we've gotten a lot as far as the character is concerned. We've got the boy in the MCU. We got an awesome Spider. We got an awesome video game. We got an awesome animated movie. We got a couple of TV shows which are awesome. I would assume that everything is going well in the comic. Actually, J.J. Abrams just confirmed he is making a comic book series written by him and produced by him. And we all know J.J. Abrams is that nigga. So we've had a lot of good Spider-Man content for a while. It was this kind of shit was only bound to happen. So okay, so I feel so sorry for Tom Holland because this is probably his fucking dream. Can you imagine being Tom Holland right now?
No, I can't.
I would imagine he probably shed a tear when he probably, because you already know that nobody. He probably found out just like the way we did.
Pretty sure the fan base shedding a tear that we're not gonna get a Tom Holland Ryan Reynolds interaction. Actually, no, we can't. Can we?
Right.
Deadpool, Spider-Man. Oh man.
No, we can't because Disney owns Deadpool.
No, but Sony owns Spider-Man now.
Sony owns Spider-Man, but Disney owns Deadpool.
So how are we gonna get a Spider-Man Deadpool interaction?
We're not, Jared. We're not, Jared.
Thank you, nigga. Thanks, Jared. It's not happening. I mean, I don't know how many times I had to see that.
You're right.
God damn it. God damn it. Well, we can look forward to the Fantastic Four at least.
Yay.
It's not gonna be the same.
No.
It's not gonna be the same. I feel for you, Tom Holland, even though you're rich, young, and talented, and handsome.
Yeah, really faking.
Why am I feeling sorry for this nigga again? This nigga ain't probably got a care in the world right now.
It's like, oh no, I'm gonna make my next 50 million somewhere else.
This could like fuck with his career a little bit because of the movie that comes out. The movie's not the best.
I don't know about his entire career, but he's proven himself to be. He can carry his own movie. Let's put it that way. He's proven that he can carry his own movie.
Mm-hmm.
So once you're in a Disney superhero movie, the money's coming. The money's coming. The money's coming for him. Not as much as we would have been with Disney though. Disney. Tom was like, God damn it, Disney not my sugar mama no more. I get these bitches, Sony. Fuck.
Shit, man. There goes my gold Bugatti. I guess I gotta settle with a regular
one. Man, there goes my solid gold house. I get a silver one now. Shit.
Man.
Damn, man, they invited me to the after party. Fuck. I gotta go to Sony's after party. Them niggas just got speakers there.
They ain't got no alcohol. They got sippy cups. They got no heart. They got bottom shelf.
They got mics.
They got Mike's Hard and Sveka. Smirnoff. Fuck, man. they had rum over there with Disney.
Right.
Shit. They had private stock over there.
They had gold cups with champagne, son.
Okay, guys. Well, we're obviously time here, but we had to get all of this shit out because we're not too happy here at the IMO podcast family. Speaking of which, if you'd like to be a part of the IMO podcast family, please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, subscribe to us, and we will see you in the next one. We didn't really get to all of our topics today, but we'll probably we'll probably try and get to the other ones. There was actually a bunch of shit that happened this week besides Spider-Man, but Spider-Man was the most prevalent thing.
Gamescom happened this week. They got a lot of announcements. Nothing major though. I posted some of the important ones too.
Yeah, but this is the biggest thing that happened in movie. Spider-Man came to the MCU. Now they're taking him away, so there's that. Well, Disney owns Fox. $72 billion. That number still doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Yeah, bye.
Peace out, pimps.